Hey guys, Frank the Pest Geek here. It's Tuesday, and I'm getting ready to go to the gym, and I honestly do not feel like going to work out today. Actually, I never feel like going to work out. I don't like the gym. I don't like working out. To me, going to the gym and working out feels like the biggest waste of time in the world. And yet, I know I need to do it. I know that I need to get this done. I know that I want the shape I want to be in, but the work that I have to put into it is exhausting. And when I'm exhausted from business and dealing with my kids and doing all the work that I do, it's the gym is just I gotta go, and I don't want to. And this is where I have to just be disciplined and determined. I didn't go yesterday. I didn't go Saturday. I went 3 times last week. Had a great workout last week, but now today. It's rainy. It's drizzling. What's going to happen in the next couple of weeks? We're going to have a ton of disease because it's overcast. All we need now is a drop in temperature, and we're going to have disease everywhere, and we're going to be scrambling. But I've been in a real funk in the last week. If you've listened to my podcast, you know why. I'm just at my wit's end with what's been happening with the SEO. And I decided, I've been thinking a lot, and I was in a funk all weekend. And I've got little kids. That isn't their fault. They have no reason to see daddy in a bad mood. I'm not generally in a bad mood. My daughter knows when I'm in a bad mood. She picks up on it very quickly. She calls me, Mr. Cranky Pants. I say, what's wrong? He says, you're snapping at me. I'm like, okay, so when I start snapping at people, I'm exhausted. I don't snap at people. So when you see me snapping and being just like that, she gets it. But she deals with me in a very special way. She just basically gives it right back to me, which is bizarre. She's just, Mr. Cranky Pants. And she just makes that comment and walks away. And then if she's like I say something, something really stupid, she pats me on the head and goes, oh, sweetie. She's just a widow for 11 years old. She really knows how to handle me. So I've been in this just upset because our SEO tank, we went from 6,000 clicks in November that we were getting on our website visits to we're at 179, I think 179, 159 for the week. We were getting about 100 leads a month off that website. We've got 3 all of last week. We went from 20-something leads to, which is enough for the week to get us going. We're not a big company. All the work I did and all the effort and all of the meetings and all of the talking and all of the promises has come to nothing right now. And I'm just exhausted mentally, emotionally from this because I paid out $10,000. When I originally had the conversation, this is what I need you guys to understand, that if you see me communicating here, over-communicating, I over-communicate all the time. I'm letting people exactly know what I want, how I want it, why I want it this way, what's the reason. I want people to have empathy and understand where I'm at. When I call this company, because they're in groups and they come recommended, the conversation was, here's what's happening right now. We're stagnant. We're getting an enormous amount of leads, but people are broke. People have no money to pay our fees. When our competitors drop their fees, all our competitors dropped their fees. We dropped our fees during COVID, but I was losing money. I couldn't keep doing business that way. And I said, I can't. I'd rather just not do it if I'm going to lose money at it. And the whole issue was, I said, listen, I'm going to start bleeding pretty soon. and I'm estimating within the next 30 days. It's taking me forever to find a company. I didn't want to do this anymore. And I'm just overwhelmed with everything I got to do with running the business, the people, my kids. It's an enormous amount of. I'm trying to delegate this to somebody. I need to trust you that you're going to take what I have now and improve it. And they made me a million promises. They oversold it. They kept telling me we're going to undersell it and over deliver. Well, they've done quite the opposite. And they didn't listen to me, which is what pisses me off most, is when I'm talking to you and I'm investing time with you, that you're not listening. And, one of the things that I look at is my brand, is my image. My brand is everything. And when people don't have the empathy to understand because they're in growth mode and they're trying to acquire more customers, when you already have about 300 customers, and I ask how many customers, to find out that you only have 3 customers, I'm the third one of this size that you're dealing with, where everybody's a little person starting from zero, it's easy to do that. So when I had the conversations, I'm like, listen, I'm going to start bleeding. I need you to move quickly. I'll pay you whatever you ask. I said, this is my budget. Can you do it? And they said they come in like 20%, 25% under budget. And I said, are you sure? I've got the money that I can invest. I want to put this amount on SEO, this amount on ads. And I'm telling you, I'm going to start bleeding and I need you to move quickly on my behalf. If you want to take this account, these are the terms. I want you to do it. Yes, yes, yes. Month later, not done yet. 2 months later, not done. We're at 3 months now since we started this conversation in November. We started the conversation in November, and it's extremely exhausting. I'm beat. I'm exhausted mentally, emotionally. The message I taught on Sunday about worry and money was mostly for me. I had to sit in my car last night and listen to that message for myself, to apply it to myself, because it's just an incredibly just exhausting. And I got to get the energy to do everything. And when I'm mentally worried and exhausted about things like this, I can't function. So I've been just thinking about it. I called my buddy, my media guy, and on Friday, and I said, dude, I'm seriously thinking about bringing you over full time to do this. And I want you to pray about it over the weekend. I want you to think about it. And he said, I will. And I went yesterday, I was hanging out with my kids, and I said, guys, I'm going to take you guys to the park so that you can play, because this ain't your fault. None of this is your fault. And what pisses me off most is that's my kids' money they're messing with. My business is my kids' future. My business is my livelihood. And when you're that cavalier because you have so many other accounts that you take on a big account like mine, and you drop the ball so badly, and that my income comes to zero, new business. I'm not talking about recurring business. Recurring business is good, but our new business comes to zero, and all you can do is apologize and tell me you're going to do the next 3 months for free when I'm losing 6x that. I'm losing that much on a daily basis, and you're offering it for free doesn't console me, especially when I've had the conversation. So I'm mentally exhausted right now. I'm just beat. I hadn't done yoga all weekend. I hadn't rolled out. I hadn't done anything because I'm just right now trying to figure this out. And I told my kids we're going to go to the park. I don't want you guys to tell me about, he did, she did, whatever. Just have fun, play. Leave me alone here for a little while. And I had a cigar and I had a coffee. And believe it or not, guys, that's therapy for me. That really is. And I sat there for 2 hours and I figured out that what I'm paying these guys to screw things up when I had things running, I could have paid a guy for an entire year and pay him a commission off the increase to reward him for a job well done, and I would have got 5 to 6x the work done, because nobody's going to invest for what I'm paying. They're not giving me more than 10 to 20 hours a week on a team. With a 40-hour guy, I could do 4 to 6x. I could get the academy finished, having him on board. I can, instead of posting once a day like they're doing, I can post 3 to 6 times a day. We've been talking about implementing the Gary V model at full scale. He doesn't really want to do what he's doing. He would rather do this because this is where he's at. He's got an enormous amount of work ethic. I mean, if I don't stop him from working, he'll be working 2, 3 in the morning like me, because we talk to each other at 2, 3 in the morning. I know he's working. He's a believer like me. We believe the same thing. We don't have any arguments. We understand our lanes. If we were a gay couple, we would I can't believe I just said that. We would probably be a great couple. He's going to be my work husband or work wife. I don't know. I'm flipping, guys. I'm just losing it here. And I'm just, I called, so I had a cigar and I thought about it and I said, we could do all this. We could actually implement all this. And in my head, I created a strategy. I know we can do it because we just got to 6x what we do now. And I go home, I call him up, and I listened to my message, and I sat in my car for a while, and I called him up, and I said, dude, how much? How much to come over? How much to get this done? I will give you this, and get me on these, we reach these milestones, I'll make it worth your while. So, what's the time? And I said, before the end of the month. So I can cover him for a year. I said, I got enough salary, I can cover you for a year. After that, bro, if you can't pull this off, you're out of a job because I don't have any money to pay you. So I need you to really think about it. He says, yeah, bro, I'm in. So we've got work ethic. He's going to be able to focus on my brand exclusively. I know he's going to work. I said, bro, we got to do it in 40 hours. I don't want you working those 60, 80-hour weeks that you work. I'm done doing that in my life. If we can't do it in 40, we're doing it wrong. We got to figure out how we do it in 40. And I don't care what time you start. I don't care what time you finish. You work on your time. All I care is the work gets out, that we get the engagement, that we get the media out, the advertising. And SEO is going to be one of those things that we're going to put, but we're going to open up multiple streams of revenue and multiple streams of advertising. And that's what I decided to do. And I feel much better this morning. I have peace in my heart with that decision. It's the best decision that I probably ever made in my life, other than Jesus Christ. There's nobody in this earth that I respect more than him, other than my mother. And we're going to be able to crank this out. If I've been doing this much on my own, which he knows way more than me, and he's more efficient at it, I know that I can 10x this. And if you read Grant Cardone's book, The 10x Rule, you need to, because that's what I've been focusing on. Is we need to 10x this to have the impact I want on the podcast. We can focus on the podcast. We can focus on my company. We can get 10x more done by this. And, the Bible says that two that can walk together can set 10,000 to flight. There's a 10x rule there. How can two walk together when they don't agree? Right now, me and my SEO company aren't agreeing because they don't have my values. They don't have me esteemed. One thing is, you're telling me how important I am, how I'm a VIP. how they know who I am. They know I have reach. And if they would have gotten this, if they would have delivered just what they promised, forget about over delivering, just met the need and would have stopped the bleeding and at least get me to break even. I didn't even ask in this time frame for anything special. All I want to do is just get enough leads so that I can break even. I'm okay. I'm not being unreasonable. And I think I need to start becoming more unreasonable, because you don't get it. And so I'm going to go now. I'm going to go get my workout, and I don't know how productive it's going to be. I'll let you know tomorrow. Um, it's a drizzly day. It's like out here. I might go out today and just take the day off for me and get a mental day, because I've had my kids all weekend. They're exhausting. I got to deal with my mom. My mom is getting really old, and we don't know if she might have throat cancer or something. She can't swallow. She's not eating. I had to get her some shakes so that she would eat, because she doesn't want to eat solid food. She doesn't want to go to the doctor. I mean, I've got so much pressure on me. And the last thing I need is people around me that create more. Instead of offering solutions, they're creating problems for me. And this is where I'm just mentally and physically exhausted. I can be on a camera all day. I can talk to people all day. It's actually therapeutic for me to sell, because I'm interacting with people. One lady told me, I'm really interested in after I sales pitched her, and I told her why. I said, I'd rather lose the sale and tell you the truth than to take you on and lose you as a customer. And why the other company, what they're promising you, my competitor, isn't going to deliver that, because you're expecting too much. And these are specialized services, and they've lowered their prices to compete because they're in that growth mode now. And I'm not. I'm focusing on quality. I'm focusing on, I give you my price, and if you don't like it, too bad. Why? My bills are covered. I have nothing I need. My bills are covered. But I want to grow and I want to succeed, but I'm not going to give away all my prices simply because I'm desperate. I did that during COVID to help people, because everybody was crying that they didn't have a job. And one of my friends told me, dude, just because they don't have any job, do you have to save everybody? No, I don't. But this is who I am. I'm still helping people. I'm still answering people. I'm still trying to help other people, even though I'm hurting. And you have no idea how much I've hurt in the last 2 years, that I've never said anything about, because I don't complain. I don't whine. I learned that from my mother. My mother is the strongest person I know. I wish I could find a woman as strong as my mother. She had to raise me by herself. Never heard my mother complain about anything. I'm probably doing more complaining on this podcast right now than my mother has ever done in her entire life. She takes on responsibilities on her shoulder that she shouldn't, just like me. We're almost wired the same. I got my entrepreneurialism from my father, a man who I knew till I was 5. And you see me, why am I always focused on my kids? Is because my father died when I was 5. So this day, at 50 years old, I still think about how I miss my dad. And what I don't want for my kids is never to have a father. This is why I'm going to the gym. This is why I diet. This is why I take so much time off for them, because I don't want my kids to ever say my dad was great at business. He just never had time for me. This is why I'm delegating. And it hurts when people have no empathy to understand this. Dad, you're dealing with people's lives, their livelihood, that you're stealing from them their peace of mind, their time with their children, their what they could be doing. Now I got to work harder to make up for this. And at the end of the day, they get to walk away when we're here trying to protect people's lives, their property, their plants. And I take that so seriously. that this is why you see me every time a customer calls and complains and the tech isn't able to solve it while I'm there personally. Luckily, they get it right 99% of the time, which I'm blessed. So when somebody calls and complains, it's really legitimate. It's not that they're griping. It's not that they're just being a pain in the butt because my guys weren't able to solve it, and nobody gets it 100%. I don't have that expectation. I'm shocked that we're this good, to tell you the truth, that we're this lucky to be this good. Um, so I'm blessed. I'm thankful for my kids, my family, but I'm really distraught over this, and it's painful when you take $10,000 of hard-earned money, when you know you're going to be bleeding, when you're telling them you're going to be bleeding, when you're explaining it to them, guys, I'm bleeding. When I finally called them 2 months ago and I said, guys, listen, it's a gunshot wound to the chest and they've hit an artery. I'm bleeding. I need you to turn this around now and get this done. And a month later, here we are. We're zero. I mean, if it wasn't for my YouTube, which everybody's, why are you doing YouTube? Why are you doing YouTube? She even tried to tell me, YouTube is not, TikTok is not, and what telling me, and they don't understand my revenue streams. I get more. The only thing that's keeping me alive right now is all my YouTube, because people see me on YouTube. You're listening to the experts, and the experts are getting it wrong. Here I am, an amateur at everything, and I'm getting it right. I like the way I'm doing it wrong better than the way you're not doing it at all. A lot of people criticize me. A lot of people are hating me. They're envious. But you know what? I'm doing it, and you're not. And I'm being real, and I'm being transparent, I'm being honest, and I'm bringing on the best people on my show. I've got Deanie Miller coming on. I've got Dr. Oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, guys. I've got so much on my head. Janet Hurley. She is an expert on school IPM because she does that in Texas. She's coming on to deal with IPM. Deanie Miller agreed to already come on. I'm gonna be hitting these big guys up and saying, come on my podcast. I'm devoting an enormous amount to that podcast and putting the pedal to the metal, because the stuff that people are talking about, 50% of you guys are getting it wrong. 50% are getting it right. This isn't a matter of opinion. A lot of this stuff is black and white. The stuff you don't understand is very small, but the law is the law. And I'm going to be doing a training video on that, because my job is not to show you that I'm right. My job is to find out what right is. What is truth? What are the facts? Whether they agree with my point of view or not. I'm being trying to be totally unemotional about this, and I usually am about business, except when it hits this close to home, and I've got to borrow and I've got to do things to make sure that this continues and this goes on. This is what's just it gets to that point. So I'm going to go to the gym now, and I'm going to have a workout, and I'm going to, I don't go to the gym to de-stress. It just doesn't work for me. I go to the gym because I want to build up my body, because I want to get stronger, because I'm weak as hell, because I haven't done it in 20 years, because I've neglected myself to take care of everybody around me. And I'm at the point where you are around me to help me. But if you're taking away, I'm going to get rid of you very quickly. If you're not adding anything to my life and you're just taking and you're not contributing, I've made that decision in my life to just get rid of you, because you're a leech, you're a parasite. You're not going to live off of me when I'm working my butt off to make sure that I'm providing for you as an employee, as a vendor, See, no, everybody talks about partnering with you, but at the end of the day, nobody takes a risk with you. You're on your own. I generally feel most of the time I'm on my own. I'm on my own now. Um, I'm on my own in this business. I'm on my own in the world. Um, I don't have a lot of cousins and brothers and people. I don't have a brother. I mean, my brother's in Cuba. I'm trying to take care of him. And he's 18 years older than me. So being an entrepreneur is lonely a lot of the time. Nobody understands what you're going through. Nobody understands. Most of the time, they don't understand your dreams. They don't understand your ambitions. They don't understand your worries. They don't understand because they're not in this world. They're outside looking in. And sometimes they're saying, I don't want that. And I envy you for what you're doing. Must be nice to have a podcast, must be nice to have a business, must be nice to have a show, to be on YouTube, must be nice. No, guys, it's a lot of work to the tune of 20 to 30 to 40 hours a week on top of my business to do this. You envy me when you mock me first because you tell me I'm an idiot for doing what I do. And then when I'm successful, you're envying me. That's human nature. I mean, Jesus walks into Bethlehem, and I'm sorry, I forgot where he walked into. But Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. He rides in on a donkey. A week later, they're screaming out, crucify him, crucify him. That's society for you. If you don't have the stomach to be on social media, take the hits, be willing to be criticized, be willing to be wrong. People tell me, I respect you. I don't agree with everything. And I said, I don't expect you to agree with everything. I don't agree with anybody on everything. But I respect those that are doing. Even if they're wrong in what they're asserting, but they're doing. Even if their position is different than mine. If you had a podcast and a video podcast about spraying and praying and how that's the best for your customer, and you had 1,000 videos out there, I would highly respect you. Even though I will sell against you, because that's competition. That I enjoy. I enjoy you selling against my eco-friendliness and criticizing me about my organics and IPM. And I enjoy going after you and selling against you against spray and pray because I'm competitive. Those are the things I enjoy in business. And I would highly respect you if you did it, even though I think you're wrong. But that's my opinion. At the end of the day, what's going to matter is what does my customer think and who is my customer? Who am I ministering to? Who am I blessing? Who am I educating? Who am I training? That at the end of the day is what's going to matter. So I'm going to go off to the gym now, guys. This is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a pestacular day.